Hey, what's up, you guys? Tonight's movie date was to go see it, and let me tell you, it was so. I like to talk about movies, spoiling it, because I feel like my response is more genuine. What I liked about it was the fact that it dared to live up to its R rating and actually mess with kids. Like, usually, I feel like kids get spared from grotesque harm and whatnot, but this movie did not shy away from that. The scene of the clown in the sewer and then the kid who lost the boat in it. It turns out that it ends up like opening its mouth real wide, and he has like 3,000 teeth all up in there, and he bit the arm off this child, and you would see the pool of blood on the road in the middle of this rain. And I thought, wow, they did it, they just messed a kid up really bad. And then there were other scenes in which we had a kid get its freaking head bitten by some demonic like figure. I really liked the kind of action and gruesome stuff happening. Additionally, the movie did not make me feel uneasy like the jump scares and the anxiety typically associated with horror movies. I did not feel it in this one, probably because of the setting. But stuff like The Conjuring, that stuff does build up a knot in my stomach. And Annabelle had moments like that for me too. But this movie really didn't do that for me. You guys know I always talk about the music, so most of the soundtracks here, like the opening theme, is with a piano and it's beautiful. I'm hoping to learn that piece. But just a little random side note. But overall, I did enjoy this movie. I remember seeing some of the earlier It stuff, like I have a VHS of it somewhere. And I remember being confused while watching that It stuff, but this definitely is totally unlike what I remember from that show. Another really good thing about this movie is the visual effects. A lot of things just seemed real. And there's this scene where there's this room that turns bloody red. That was pretty shocking for me. And I guess I've seen so many horror movies one after the other that I'm anticipating the worst happening. On that bathroom scene, this girl is looking down the sink drain, and I was anticipating that something was going to shoot up and then stab her eye and something. I thought that all the kids were going to die, really, because I've never read anything about it. I've never read anything pertaining to this. Since it was headed in that direction, that the first child goes missing and he's very dead, then I just assumed that everybody else was going to run the same fate. It really didn't happen that way. Another thing that I was anticipating was for objects to come to life, just like on other scary movies. Like there's this scene where these three boys are stuck in this house. And then I was anticipating that the kid who was fearful of clowns, his name is Richie, I thought that that room where all of the clowns' robes just fail, I was anticipating that all of them would come to life and jump on him. But that didn't happen. I also expected for the figure of him in the casket to come to life as well and maybe try to attack him. But it's just a lot of, I hope imagery is the right word, but really, most of this stuff, since this clown is an entity that feeds off your fears, it's not like other movies where all of these objects just come to life and they are the ones that cause you harm. It's like the clown himself is what is going to harm you, because he's like a shapeshifter. He takes the form of your fear and attacks you as the fear, but he is not putting his soul into multiple objects or making multiple objects come to life, and that serves as weapons against you too. Does that make sense? So I guess if I would have walked into this movie without being so saturated with scary movies, I might have been spooked. But I think I over prepared myself mentally for this movie. This movie, it's strange for me. It can get creepy. It is scary in some aspects, I'm not gonna lie. But that anxiety that I get from other scary movies, I did not experience it, but it doesn't mean that this scary movie is weak. It's actually a good movie. 2017, like my boyfriend and I just established, has been a great year for movies, and this is no exception. If you are a fan of Stephen King's works, if you like freaky stuff or just something out of the ordinary and scary junk, then this is the movie for you. And the best review is always going to be for you to see it yourself. I'm not the best at reviewing films, but I like to share my initial impressions just in case you are looking for reasons to look at something or not. I'm telling you, go for it. And it is my understanding that most people also tell you to go for it. It was trending last night on Twitter, and people were saying that this is the most terrified they have been. It doesn't do that for me. I'm not saying that they're exaggerating and being phony. I'm just saying that my perception is a little different. But you will experience a spooked moment or two. So I'll just let you guys find out for yourself. Just know that I enjoyed it, and I would recommend it if you're looking for something bizarre and gruesome to look at. And I also liked how the theme of the movie is about bonding and overcoming your fears and just taking action when everybody else who's too drained or depressed doesn't do it. Like the adults in this movie, they're zombies. It's the children who are the true heroes around here. So I feel like Annabelle did that too, where, one child really had guts and she was owning the situation. So here, a group of, I feel like it was 7 kids. I think it's 7 kids. Were owning the situation that the adults weren't. Kids had to find out that this stuff was happening because the adults knew about it, but they weren't trying to get involved in that mess. The good thing about children's perspective is that it's more genuine. That is all that I have for you at the moment. Have you seen this movie? Do you plan on seeing it? Are you going to see it now that you have seen maybe another review plus my review? Or have you been interested in this type of thing? Let me know in the comments below. And if you do go see this, I hope that you enjoy it, because I definitely did. And you guys know that this is not really my type of movie, but I like to give everything a chance, and it's also date night. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.